Good morning, my Teaserking family. Hope everybody is well, healthy. Let's try to make some money here. Happy 4th of July. If you're traveling, enjoy. If you're staying at home, enjoy. Bottom line, enjoy. I finally found my book. It went to Target? No. Went to Barnes & Noble? No. I go to Walmart, I get one copy is all I see. So what I'm going to do is with quarterbacks who are returning, like Van Dyke at Miami. I think the Fresno State quarterback is. The Nevada one, I don't know what happened to him. He's gone, but I don't recall him getting drafted. So I'll have to do some checking. But anyway, this will be my reading material for this weekend. Baseball yesterday. Atlanta is a lock. The Yankees is a lock, but it got rained out. And let's check the third lock was the 49ers. Did they win, lose, or draw? Actually, it was them over. It's been so weird, like Minnesota, you got crappy pitchers. Let's see. So let's see, 7-1 over. Tampa over. I lost with St. Louis. The lock was Atlanta. Milwaukee. Yankees got rained out. The Mets over didn't make it. Minnesota over didn't make it. Houston, of course. Arizona under 11.5. It was 6-2 and it ended at 12. Let's see. Where are the 49ers? Come on. Well, I went with the Dodgers, and I went with Seattle. Where did the Frisco game go? Did they get postponed in Frisco? What am I missing here? Seattle beats Oakland. The Dodgers, San Diego. Dodgers win. Wow, this is weird. Where are the 49ers? Oh, that was okay. Come on. Here we go, I think. We have the 49ers over. And 1-0 White Sox. I don't know what happened in that game. Anyway, let's look at today's games. Come on, Flyers played date. All right, Saturday, July 2nd. I can see my computer's slow already. I hope I don't have issues with it. No, I don't want Sunday's games. I want Saturday's games. I don't know about you, but I mean, I'm running into like YouTube. It's like commercials every 5 minutes, and everything I go into, it's got to stop for put these little commercial ads in there. All right, where's my date? Apologize, my internet's really slow right now. Hung up on the ad that's trying to load. Come on. It's ridiculous. I keep getting Sunday. Okay, here's Saturdays. Took all that time and Sunday popped up. All right, apologize. As soon as we get Sundays, Saturdays. Oh my God. I keep getting Sundays. Saturday. Well, let's talk about something. All right. Hey, Willie, what's the word? Oh, now for football, and we're looking at the baseballs and the economics. So right now we're going to go through. I don't know why I'm having this issue on Yahoo trying to get today's games, but let's talk about football. We got college coming up. So what we do is we get the magazine and we go team by team, right? So we go into each division and we look, and what we're really interested in is the roster. Who's coming back? Who's got the seniors? We don't really care much about the scheduling. I'm looking to make sure what quarterback's back. I have all the quarterback stats from last year. It's just a matter of, like, I know Ohio State and Alabama's quarterbacks are back, but I don't know Central Michigan's or whatever. That's what I'm going to be studying. Let's talk about, I got an email yesterday about silver. And my friend was like, what the hell is going on with silver? Why is it dropping? And it was under 20, and he's shocked. You know, what the hell's going on? And really, this is what I've been trying to teach you. That is not a real price. It's sort of like if we let's use Alabama as an example. When I have Alabama in a game against anybody, their number's not right. Their number's always biased by 3 or 4 points. So where Alabama should be like against Georgia, they should have been a 7-point dog. And I think they were a 3-point dog. Because the bookies they're supposed to want even betting, which I don't know that they're getting or not. But what they know, you're going to bet Alabama. So instead of making it a 3-point spread, they make it a 7-point spread. So they add points to Alabama. That's not a real line. That's a fake line. What I'm talking about is market. So when maybe Denver plays Seattle, there's really no big team. You're getting market rate. Where's the game? Denver. Denver's laying 3. That's the real market spread. And that's what I do. I make my own spread because I'm taking into account what the market spread should be. What do you mean, Howard? What do you mean the market? The market in football betting is what makes the betting even. The idea of a bookie or the casinos is to have $1 million. Detroit's playing Chicago. I want $1 million bet on Detroit -7, and I want $1 million on Chicago +7. And guess what? Well, before I would have won 100,000. Now I'm winning like 120,000. I'm winning the juice. But now as they make the juice higher, you got to be careful and shop around and get the best juice when you're making your bets. So the idea is $1 million and $1 million on each side. I'm going to make 120,000 guaranteed, no risk, no matter who wins. I'm going to have, if Detroit wins, I'm going to have Detroit. I'm going to pay the Detroit people and take the money with the juice from the Chicago people, or vice versa. So I want the market line, which is what makes supply and demand even. This is what should happen in every product, in every business, in football betting, and everything. And so when my friend's asking me about silver, it's like Alabama. It's not a real price. It's set up. How do I put this? It's set up because the government wants a monopoly on money. The government doesn't want people going into gold and silver because that'll make the dollar. Nobody will want the dollar. Why would you want the dollar? The dollar's declining. All the prices of goods. That's the Alabama effect. They're really not going on. They're really going through the roof, but the bookie has it at 20. Well, we're down to 20. So what's really happening is JP Morgan is getting out of this COMEX because they know the shit just hit the fan. The Russians are backing their dollar with gold. The demand by the Indian people in India for their weddings, they always have to give gold. The bride and the groom and the families have to. That's the tradition there. Sort of like good luck. And they're all doing gold. Well, the demand for gold shot through the roof, but the prices don't reflect it. So the Indians are buying it hand over fist because they're going, this is great. But the price isn't going up. So they're able to still get it. The Chinese and the Russians are still able to get tons of gold at a cheap price. And the cheap price, the Americans don't understand that it's a cheap price and go, well, it doesn't move. Look at Bitcoin move to 60,000. Why isn't gold going to 60,000? Again, Bitcoin is not real. It's being Alabama. The price isn't real. It's just being set. So silver and gold, you got to realize, are being Alabama. They're being fixed. They're not real. Don't pay attention to the price now. And that's what's happening. So as my family, you're gonna take advantage of this like the Russians and the Chinese are. Now, keep in mind, the U.S. doesn't want the competition. They want monopolies. JP Morgan, he's in the monopolies. If I'm the only one, I can raise the price to whatever I want. But he's making money on these derivative bullshit. It's not the real price of it. So I assured my friend, don't look at it. I said, it's just a buying opportunity. So he went today. He's going to go buy, he said. And I'm going to go buy. And it's just, you've got to realize when you're looking at Alabama -10 that it's really -5. And it's just bullshit. So you have to realize that it's bullshit and not pay attention to it, right? Just this isn't the real price. But if you're thinking it's going to go higher, which is what we're thinking, then I know what I'm going to use. I'm going to use this to do baseball. If you're thinking it's going to go higher, buy it cheap, which is basically what we're doing. We're buying it cheap. It should be Now here's where I have some explaining to do. So my friend said, I said, I think it's worth at least $200. Figure it's worth $200 an ounce. You're getting it for 20. Now the premium makes it 30. So the first thing I'm saying to him is, don't worry about the premiums, because the premiums are off of Comex. So if they're starting at $20 for silver and they're adding $12 to it to make the premiums 32, the premium should be 200. There shouldn't be a premium. They should get a physical market price. The Denver-Seattle game is real. That's what the price is. The price of Coca-Cola stock is real. Nobody's fixing it. So that's the real price. Some things are real market. Some things aren't. The Canadian Club, which I showed last time, this is real market. It's $50 to go to Target and buy this. That's the real price. The silver at $20 is not the real price. So you have to differentiate between the market and that. So with that said, he says, where are you coming up with $200 an ounce? I says, just all the money that's being printed, the value has to be much higher. So that's where I'm getting at. I'm thinking 1,000 an ounce for silver, because once you take off this Alabama effect and let the market go, as soon as the price goes up, people will go to it. People will get and realize the dollar's not there, and they will go into the silver. Anyway, that's that. I'll come back to that. Let's do baseball now. I said, fuck it, and I'm taking my phone because my computer, see, this is regular, like Verizon, and that's Spectrum, which is what I'm hooked into. So let's take a look at 7-2. The first game starts at noon, a couple of noon games, and it's, where's my time? It's 11:39. So if you're listening, you get these early games. Shane McClanahan against Kevin Gausman. Ooh, I love Shane McClanahan. He's the Verlander. He's what we go after. Now, I can either play Tampa Bay, but Toronto's got Gausman, who's 6-6, but he's got a 2.93, or McClanahan. The over-under 7.5. It's 7-2. We are going to take Tampa Bay under 7.5, and it's going to be our first lock. Because I don't think Toronto will hit. And as I've mentioned, you're not going to hit the ball. A good pitcher can shut down hitting. And this is what the comments were when Verlander was playing the Yankees. And I locked Verlander, or I locked the under. I think the Yankees also had their ace going. So I locked the under, and the Yankees hit a lot. Against weak pitching, they do, not against Verlander. And it was like a 2-0 game. And that's my point. A good pitcher, a Verlander, will shut you out 9 times out of 10 when he's on. You won't get that with the bad pitchers. Then you're going to hit and look better. So again, it's just like the quarterback in football. You got Tom Brady out there, you're getting one thing. You got the backup out there, you're not going to get 40 points. This is why the quarterback role is key, and this is why I dissect the quarterbacks. This is why I say Lamar Jackson's not that good. He doesn't know how to pass. But a Russell Wilson and a Mahomes, they can run a little, but they're great passers. They're going to get you the 40 points, not Lamar Jackson. And this is why you need to know it. And when the guy's injured, then you need to look at the backup. How good's the backup? Like Miami of Florida, they had the Eric King, and he sucked. And then all of a sudden, here comes Van Dyke in, who nobody ever heard of. And that's when you look at the box score, and he throws for 6 touchdowns. And Teaser King's light goes on going, hey, I just found an over, because they don't have good defense. Then I watched Van Dyke the next game, 5 touchdowns. He's putting up 40 points by himself. The over-unders are in the 40s. I'm locking Miami over every week with Georgia under, W. So that's what we're looking at. So because you got 2 good pitchers, at least Gausman with a 2.93 ERA. I don't know. Tampa doesn't hit that much anyway. We're going to lock the under there. The Yankees in Cleveland, we got Garrett Cole, one of the aces for New York. They have like 5.8. They have like all 5 of their pitchers have very low ERAs. Of course, this is why they're 56-21 when you got good pitching. and they got good hitting. So Cole 6-6 with the 2.99 against Kirk McCarty. 0-1 with the 10.29. This is our second lock. New York Yankees lock. So you better be listening because this is not getting posted by 12:10. I got 12:07 and 12:10. I got my locks going. The third game, 2:00, Baltimore at Minnesota. The Twins are just so erratic. I guess there's injuries. We got Sonny Gray, 4-1 with the 2.17 against Baltimore. Lyles, 4-7 with the 4.94. What did I have? Yeah, I had Minnesota over. They didn't get there. So I'm going to take Minnesota under today. Very small. I don't like Minnesota. I can't get a feel on them. In my stat page, I have Minnesota as they hit well, 250, and a terrible ERA. They're actually an over team, but they're not getting over. So I don't know. I'm going to take them under, but they'll probably go over today. Just stay away from Minnesota. They're very inconsistent. For a 44-36 team, I have no idea. All right, Miami, Washington. Yesterday, this game went over. Over under of 10. Wow. We got Daniel Castano, 0-1 with the 2.57 against Jackson Tetrault, 2-1 with the 4.24. I don't understand this. Over under 10, all I can think of is Miami has their bullpen guy. See, this is the problem. You see the bullpen guys, and you're like, oh, he's got a small ERA, but that's for pitching one inning a time. So now they make him a starter because of these stupid, we got to have 12 days rest in between or the guy might get hurt. And you can only pitch 100 pitches. So I don't understand anything going on in baseball now. It's very, very strange. 0-1 with the 2.57. So this, because it's an over-under of 10, and this game went over yesterday, I'm going to play this game over today. So we're going to go Miami over 10. Again, very small. St. Louis and Philly. Again, a 10. What happened here? Philly won yesterday. Matthew Liberatore, 2-1 with a 4 ERA against Kyle Gibson, 4-3 with a 4.48 ERA. What is this, bullpen day today? I got to go over on this game. Take Philly over 10. I don't know the pitchers. What I'm saying is a Verlander will shut you down, but a Liberté 2-1 with a 4 ERA, you'll look like Mickey Mantle up there. So we're going to take that over because I think both pitchers suck. And let's look at the bullpens. St. Louis and Philly. Philly's 3.67 bullpen. And St. Louis has a 4.10. So both bullpens suck. So this is a good over because you don't really have good pitching. Milwaukee and the Pirates. Ashburn for Milwaukee, 1-5 with a 4.25 against Wilson, 0-4 with an 8.29. Now this game yesterday went way over. Milwaukee had an 8-run inning and a 7-run inning, and they scored 19. So you can't count on that, but you can count on them for some runs. Let's take a look. Bad pitching. Pittsburgh is 4.35 ERA, and Milwaukee is 3.14 ERA. So Milwaukee's a little bit better. Pitt's just terrible. I mean, they don't hit in a bad ERA against Milwaukee, who doesn't really hit with a decent ERA. We're going over on this game too. Let's take Milwaukee over. Over 9 seems like a low number with these ERAs. See what happens in the games. We look at the ERAs, and the guy gives up 3 runs in the first inning. And then they pull him because he's only going to pitch an inning or 2, which is all strange. Unless he's on, and if he's shutting him out, he'll pitch 5 innings. And then they go to the bullpen, and it's all a bunch of 1-inning guys, and so the ERAs are much better than they should be. and the guy comes in to get three outs, and that's it. So if he does, then there's not a lot of scoring because they just come in with 5, 6 bullpen guys. Oh, yeah, you pitch this inning, and you pitch that inning, and you pitch. And so, of course, if they just come in and do that, their ERAs are going to look much better. So that's what you have. So, again, the over is a 9 here. So we're going to go over. Pittsburgh's pitcher's terrible. 0-4, then 8.29. What's he doing in the major leagues, right? All right, so let's go over that. We had over yesterday. All right, the White Sox and the 49ers. I had the 49ers over 7.5, and it was a 2-1 game or 1-0. I mean, just there's no hitting on the Niners. Dylan Cease, this is the ace for the White Sox, 6-3 with a 2.56 against Logan Webb, who's a number 2 pitcher for the Niners, 7-2 with a 3.04. I'm going under. We're going San Francisco under 7, based on not only do we have one ace going and 1-2 going, but they didn't hit yesterday against the not a very good pitcher, because I wouldn't have went over unless a 4 or 5 was pitching. So against 2 bad pitchers yesterday, it's a 2-1 or 1-0 game. What's going to happen when the ace is on the mound? They're not going to. This will be a shutout. So go under. They need Jerry Rice back in Montana on the 49ers. All right, KC Detroit. Detroit again didn't hit. They lost 3-1 yesterday to not a very good pitcher. Here's Chris Bubik for the Chiefs, 1-5 with a 7.45 ERA against Bo Brisky, 1-6 with the 4.5 ERA. It's funny is when you listen to the game, like when I'm going swimming and I'll turn on the radio, the announcers are all, this Bo Bridges, he's incredible. He's 1-6 with the 4.55 ERA. What the fuck? Now, how do you bet this game over? The over-under is 9. The ERAs suck. Detroit got 1 run against a nobody yesterday, and again, let's take a quick look at what the hell's going on. Detroit hits 240 at home. This team hits 198 on the road, and at home it's much harder because of this big ballpark. So they hit 241 with a 2.85 ERA. They got a very good bullpen. They're a very good under team. Kansas City on the road hits 230 with a 5.22 ERA. Detroit scored 1 run against the team with a 5.22 ERA in their bullpen. Now, this is just bullpen ERA. So I go the ERA 7, 8, and 9 innings, 5.22. So you can't trust Kansas City. I can't bet on Bo Bridges with the 1-6, 4.55. How do I go over in this game? Oh, my God. This is like, no matter which way I go with this game, I'm going to lose. If I take Kansas City, if I go over, they won't get there. If I go under, they'll find a way to score with these ERAs. I can't bet Bo Brisky because he's 1-6. So I'm gonna have to go over 9 in this game, and really I'll bet like 5 cents on it, just to give a pick for you guys. Trade over 9. All right, the Raiders and the Seahawks. This would be a good football game. Over under 7. Paul Blackburn, the ace for Oakland, 6-3 with the 3.12. Well, he's actually like a number 2 pitcher, 3.12 ERA against George Kirby, 2-3 with a 4.08 ERA. Let's look at what's going on with these teams. Oakland hits a whopping 220 on the road with a 4.51. They're terrible. You can't bet Oakland. Seattle, it's 230, and their ERA is down to 3.79. So this would be, you would think you'd bet Seattle in the game. We Seattle yesterday, and we won. It was an 8-6 game. So they're hitting. So let's go over 7. Let's take the Raiders over 7. Very low. Again, see, you've got to look at the matchups. So what you got with the matchups, like I don't really love this Oakland-Seattle matchup here. Atlanta and the Bengals, over under 9. We got Spencer Strider, 3-2 with a 3.02 ERA against Tyler Mayo, 3-6 with the 4.53 ERA. Yesterday, what happened? Atlanta was our lock and won very easily. And I think we'll take them again today. Let's take Atlanta. We're not going to lock them, but we'll just take Atlanta. 3.02 ERA against Maul, 3-6 with a 4.53 ERA. Cincinnati has a 6.02 bullpen. So, yeah, this probably go over too, but definitely let's take Atlanta. California and the Houston Astros. We got over under of 8. We got Sandoval for California, 3-2 with a 2.63 against Jose Urquidy, 6-3 with the 4.36. Yesterday we had Houston. We got the W. They had a good pitcher going. The good pitcher going today is for California. Over under of 8. Well, now we got to take a look at that. Cal hits 222 on the road with a terrible ERA. Can't bet them to win. Houston, very strong team. They hit 240 at home with a wicked 2.25 ERA. No, I changed it. 2.6 ERA or something like that. Very strong ERA, very strong bullpen, much better than the Angels. Let's go under in this game. Let's go Houston under 8. Hard to bet against the ace, right? So Sandoval, 3-2 at the 2.63. So we really don't want to mess with him. Our pitcher, Ugrande, 6-3 with the 4.36. There should be some runs. Terrible bullpen by California. So let's go over. Texas and the Jets, Jets. The over-under is 9. We got Martin Perez, the ace for the Texas Rangers, 6-2 with a 2.22 ERA against Trevor Williams, probably the 4 or 5 pitcher, 1-4 at the 3.64. I think let's look at the bullpens. Texas bullpen 3.19. The Jets bullpen 3.44. We're going to go under with this game. Texas under. They got the ace on the mound, but I don't trust them. The over-under is 9. That's a pretty good over-under, so I think we can get there. That's why. So Tampa and Toronto is playing a doubleheader. So we've locked. Did we lock Tampa? We've locked Tampa in the first game, which starts in 20 minutes. The second game, Thomas Hatch, a new pitcher for Toronto against Rasmussen, 5-3 with the 3.41. Over under 9.5. The players will be a little tired. Bullpen, if it's close, they'll have their players. The lock is Tampa Bay under 7.5. So I think we got to go. Tampa will hit this Hatch. Let's go over in the second game. TV over 9.5. Now the reason is because the pitchers should be tired from pitching in the first game. So they'll probably use other pitchers, which aren't as effective. So I think there'll be more run scoring. Yankees-Cleveland, game 2. We locked the Yankees in game 1. Game 2, we got Cortez, 6-3, 2.51 for the Yankees. Chevalier for Cleveland, 2-4 to 7. We're going to lock the Yankees in game 2. So we're locking the Yankees to win both games of the doubleheader today. Very interesting. All right. Boston against the Bears. Over under 9.5. Josh Winkowski, 3-1 with a 3.60 for the Red Sox. For the Bears, Mills, 0-1 with a 9.87. There's going to be a lot of runs. We're taking Boston over. I know they're hitting. See, I like what they do. Their manager has them. Their first 4 hitters are their 300 hitters. First of all, they got 4 300 hitters on their lineup, and the manager's smart enough to put them all together, which is what I like, because then it's hit. We're going to score some runs. I don't like these managers that bat the 190 hitter first. Why do I want him up 5 times? And then I got a bunch of nobody, and then I got a 300 hitter hitting 8th. What are you thinking? There's nobody on base for the 300 hitter. And I want them to bat as much as possible. I want my top couple of hitters batting 4 or 5 times in the game, and the guy hitting ninth batting 3 times because it won't roll all the way around. So I want my best hitters batting the most they can. The Padres Dodgers won this game yesterday. Hugh Darvish against Tyler Alexander. Good pitching matchup. Jesus Christ. Darvish 7-3 with a 3.26. Anderson 8-1 with a 3.23. This is a lock under the Dodgers under 8 lock. This is the 4th lock. So we've got Tampa Bay under starting in 10 minutes. We've got the Yankees in both halves of the doubleheader as locks. And now we're locking the Lakers under 8. Now, why are we locking them? When you look at LA, San Diego, they both have strong ERA bullpens, 3.27 with the 3.80 for the Dodgers, 3.27 for the Chargers, 3.80, and they're hitting 240 each. San Diego hits about 250, and their starters are very strong aces. Darvish 3.26 and Anderson 3.23. It just spells for not a lot of hitting, and the over-under is 8. It's not a 6.5, so we're going to go with it. In the last game, Arizona, Colorado, this game scored like 5 runs in the last 2 innings to go over. What do we got here? Arizona. We got over-under at 12.5. This reminds me of a football game with an over-under of 56. You might get some Denver Bronco overs with Russell Wilson, but they got such a good defense. I'm not going to look to bet them over that too much, but we'll see. Dallas Keuchel, 2-5 with a 7.93. What happened to him against Austin Cumber? All right, here we're not going to lock this, but we're going to play Arizona over fucking 12.5. Can you believe this? But I'll tell you, in Colorado, these little pop-ups go for home runs, so you have to be there. So let me review. I know I got some new family members who just joined. All right, hurry up. Tampa Bay lock under 7.5 starts at 12:10, which is in 10 minutes. Get that in. The Yankees, both ends of the doubleheader are locks. The Yankees have a 12 o'clock and a 7 o'clock. So get the 12 o'clock. I think it starts at 12:20. That's a note. So those Tampa Bay and the Yankees are on very, very quickly, and they're both locked. Tampa Bay under 7.5, and because my man's pitching McClendon for Tampa Bay. That's an under, and the Yankees lock. Both there's the ace against the 5, and then the second game of the doubleheader. Another ace going against another nobody. Minnesota under 9. We've got Miami over 10. We've got Philly over 10. We got Milwaukee over 9. We got the 49ers under 7. We got Detroit over 9 and bet it for like 5 cents. We got the Raiders over 7. We got Atlanta. We got Houston under 8. We got Texas under 9. We got Boston over 9.5. Again, the Yankees in the second game of the doubleheader is a lock. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Tampa Bay over 9.5. Boston, yeah, we also have Boston over 9.5. So in the second game of the doubleheader, we're taking Tampa Bay over 9.5, but not a lock. Locking the Yankees in game 2 at like 7 o'clock. Boston over 9.5. Terrible pitching for whoever they're playing. Our 4th lock of the day is the Ram Charger game. We're going under 8. And Arizona over 12.5 because both pitchers' ERAs are over 6. And they got to 13 or 14 yesterday. So 4 locks. Tampa Bay under 7.5 in a game 1. The Yankees in both ends of the doubleheader. And the Rams under 8. Those are your plays today. I've updated my stats. So what I do is I do batting average at home and batting average on the road for every team, not the individual. And then I do ERA over for the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning because the bullpen. And I don't know how much that means because they like the Tigers have 13 freaking pitchers on their staff. And of the 13, so they trot out 5 bullpen guys every game because they don't really have an ace. So their pitcher, like today, Bo Brisky's pitching. So give him what, 4 or 5 innings, and then here comes 6, 7, 8, 9. At least 4 relievers they're pretty good relievers ERAs. They're pretty low. They come in for an inning. It's just ridiculous. I mean, because if you need more runs, you're just not going to get it unless it's a blowout like Milwaukee Pitt yesterday. And then they're bringing in the terrible guys out of the bullpen. They're not bringing out the good guys. So if the game's close, you're not going to get a lot more runs. If the game starts scoring and you got, and you don't have that great bullpen or they're tired, like in the Tampa game, right? You got McClanahan going. That game's not going to be. There's not going to be any scoring in game 1. We got McClanahan and Gausman, a 1.77 ERA and a 2.93. They're going to go 7 innings. There ain't going to be any runs, and then the bullpen comes in 8 and 9. So that'll tire them out a little bit, and then both teams will see normal pitching in game 2. So in comes Rasmussen, 5-3 with a 3.41 against Hatch for Toronto, who has no ER. He's never pitched. So after seeing McClanahan, they're going to it's going to be like batting practice. So look for a lot of runs in game 2. It's a psychological thing. When you face an ace, and I know, and I played baseball, when you face an ace, it definitely fucks with your mind. You're going, oh, shit, we can't hit this guy. What's going on? And then all of a sudden you start okay. All of a sudden they bring in the second guy, and you're so psyched out by the ace you can't hit him. You don't care who's pitching, you're going to hit the guy because it's got to be easier psychologically than the first guy. So when you face McClanahan in the first game and you're going to get shut out, here comes game 2. Anybody's going to look good. They'll definitely get more runs in the second game. That's what these managers are not understanding, the psychological. When you see a Verlander, McClanahan, some of these Yankees, you're not hitting them. Don't take them out. Let them pitch the whole, at least 8 innings. Screw the pitch count. It doesn't matter. What happens at 100 pitches? All of a sudden their arm falls off? I mean, come on. Pitch, let them pitch. And let them go 120, 100. Let's get to the 8th inning. Then I got my ace coming out of the pen and the game's over. He's got 100 pitches. That's what they're trying to do. So if you don't let them walk and foul off 15 pitches, which is boring as hell, this is why they do it. Oh, we can get the ace out because we can't hit them, but we can hit foul balls off of them. I once faced a girl's fast pitch pitcher who pitched 65 miles an hour. And, from, 40 or whatever they pitch from. And I could hit her. But you know how I hit her? I just kind of just punt. I just punched my bat out. I didn't take a full swing. That's the mistake. You don't take a full swing. You just see the ball. It's coming in. You can see it. It's big. And then you just meet it. And you could hit anything. So, that's how you hit the stuff. Just swing. But with the, so McClanahan, so that's really what we're looking for as a handicapper. Who's the best pitchers? And that's why I write the ace down. So Texas Perez, he's going today. The Yankees Cortez, I think, is going today. Manoah for Toronto, he's not. He lost his last game, so he'll be mad. McClanahan, the ace, he's the best pitcher in the league, and then Verlander's after him. Gilbert on Seattle and Cease on Cleveland are really the studs. And in the National League, Lopez for Miami, Musgrove for the Chargers, Barnes for Milwaukee, Alcantara for Miami, McCullers, although he just lost for St. Louis, Fried for Atlanta. Wheeler's pretty good for Philly, but he's like a 2. Rodon for the 49ers, he's like a 2. So some of these guys, like if you have an ERA under like 2.5, 2.7, you're an ace. You want to bet those guys. Now, I won with Verlander 8 times and lost with him, I think, twice. There's a couple of weeks ago he lost. Then he was facing the Yankees. I bet him heavy, and I got the W. That was a lot. So that's why I'm looking for the aces, and I lock them. And I don't care what the juice is. The juice is so fucked up. But don't ever bet with MGM or DraftKings or all these. Their odds are terrible. It's William Hill. It's Get Your Bookie or some online like a Bodog or something. Stay away from 5 dimes for football with the teasers. They change their odds. The line 7, they make it 9, and then instead of laying 1, you're laying 3. You know how many games you lose because you push -3 instead of winning with a -1. So stay away from 5 dimes, and there you go with that. So again, quickly, because I know we got games starting very soon. Tampa Bay under 7.5, game 1, lock. Yankees, both games, lock. The Rams under 8 against the Chargers, lock. Other games, Minnie under 9, Miami over 10, Philly over 10, Milwaukee over 9, the Niners under 7, the Lions over 9, the Raiders over 7, Atlanta, Houston under 8, Texas under 9, Tampa Bay in game 2 over 9.5, Boston over 7.5, I think. I think it's 7.5, and Arizona over 12.5. Now, Howard, why do you play so many over-unders versus teams? Because I can't tell the teams. When you got 2 shitty pitchers going, right? So I will play the Verlanders, and the list I just read you. I will play McClanahan, but McClanahan's facing Toronto's ace, so there's not going to be any runs. McClanahan will shut out Toronto, but you could lose 1-0, right? When he leaves after 7, they could lose 1-0, but I know the game's going to be low scoring. So that's how I determine it. If 2 pitchers are like 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5s, I just assume go over. But when pitchers have like bad records, but they're playing each other. So a 2.5 pitcher is playing a 2.6 pitcher. I don't know who's going to win, but I know it's not going to be a lot of scoring. So that's why I determine the overs and the unders. I'm looking for the Verlanders. I'm looking for the McClanahans to bet, and the Yankees have a bunch of aces. So I'm looking the Yankees, I think it's ace against 5 in both games. That's why they're both locks. And the Yankees have like 3 aces. That's why we're playing that. So that's how I look at it. So again, Tampa Bay under, and the Yankees are on real soon. This will be interesting. I got the Yankees locked in both games of the doubleheader. It's hilarious. And the Rams. Okay. Football I've talked about. Again, I'll go through the quarterbacks in college. This was extremely hard to find. I think everything's going online. I got this at Walmart. It was not at Barnes & Nobles, and it wasn't at Target. Unbelievable. So that's what I did with that. I will go through the quarterbacks and the general ranking. Like Georgia lost so many guys, but I'm looking at their backups. That the All-American teams. Now, here's a team that we're going to be looking at is Clemson. They could be Georgia this year, except they don't have an offense. Clemson's quarterback stinks, as we know, but their defense, they have 6 guys, I think, or 7 defensive players on the All-American, like first team, second team, third team, 2 Clemson, 2 Clemson, 2 Clemson, more than Georgia. So where we might not bet Georgia, they might not be as dominant, although I think they will be. Clemson will be our underdog lock pitch this year. So most of the games, especially if they're in anything Clemson in the 50s, is going to be lock under, just like we did with Georgia. Now, hopefully we can lock Georgia under 2. Van Dyke's back from Miami of Florida. We'll be locking them over. Now you have 2 different things coming on here. Oklahoma's coach runs to USC, and their quarterback follows him, and they're going to play the Oklahoma offense, which is a wide open spread so the quarterback can run, basically. It's high scoring. They won't have a defense. I'll have to check USC's defensive numbers, but they're not going to have a good defense. They're a classic over team. Now, keep in mind, it's going to be a bias. As we talked about market, it's going to be the same market, which means USC should be minus 10, is going to be minus 14. But I don't know that the market for over is going to be unmarket. This we'll have to see. So we'll keep an eye on that. What else? All right, what the hell is going on in the market, in the economy? What the fuck? Housing market's crashing. Interest rates are going up. The Fed raising I love this comment. Gold's down because the Fed's raising interest rates from 1 to 1.5. Inflation's 20% when you factor in energy, gas, rent, and food, which they've taken out. Well, what the fuck? My rent went up $200. Gas is now $5 a gallon. And you're not including that in inflation. So don't tell me inflation's 8%. That's how scary it is 8% without all that. So it's really 20. Raising rates a half a point from 1 to 1.5 doesn't do anything with 20% inflation. The idea is to raise interest rates 20% when inflation's 20%. Ideally, what you want is so people have money. You're going to throw it in the bank for 1.5% when inflation's 20. What that means in English is, okay, I got 50 grand. I can put it in the bank and get 1% on my money. Or you know what? I probably should spend it on food, on clothing, on things that I need, on assets, because I'm only going to get 1% in the bank, and it's going to lose value because of inflation. The money gets worth less and less. So what the fuck do I want it in a bank for? So when you hear that, it's bullshit. It's not a real answer. It's not really what's going on. And the gold and silver price, as I've stated earlier, but I'll repeat, it's important, isn't real. It's paper, COMEX bullshit. As I said, this was my classic example last week. If I want to drink whiskey, I can get the derivative, but you know what? I can't drink it, or I can buy the bottle. What you want to do with gold and silver is buy the bottle, not buy the paper. So the cost is not, COMEX is not real. It's Alabama, instead of lane 3, lane 7. That's COMEX. Now, you still have a football game and you still have gold and silver, but it's not real price. And you got to take advantage of it. And again, I've explained part of it is so Russia and China can buy more. Now you have India. When they celebrate a wedding, it's gold. They have to give it. It's a superstition, and they won't get married without giving the gift of gold. So the price is still low. They're buying and buying, buying. So the demand for gold is through the roof, and silver. It's not $20 going down because there's no demand. And who the fuck is selling it at $20? Nobody in their right mind selling it. Where my coin dealer is getting it, I think, is from the mint. Why the mint's selling it to the coin guy for 20 is got to be something smells fishy there. I don't know why, but there must be some subsidy or something that the miner would still sell it to my coin guy, and he can still sell it to me. Like he'll sell me a American Silver Eagle 1 ounce for like 33. It sells for 20, but you can't get it for 20 on the COMEX. But for him to sell it for 33 means he's still getting it for 24, 25 and marking it up 20%. Where's he getting it from? Who's selling it to him at this price is unbelievable. So that's what you got to keep in mind. So what's happening is it's not real. What's happening is there's huge demand for gold and silver. The government wants no competition. JP Morgan initially wanted no competition. we're the Federal Reserve's JP Morgan, and they want to sell dollars and they want to print dollars, put them in their pocket. But what's happening is because they're printing so much, they're losing value. That's why gas is $5. It's not gas going up. It's the value of the currency that's going down. And that's why gold and silver should be much, much higher. And your Brady cards and your Mantle cards, your Derek Jeter, your Burrow, all those cards will be going much, much higher because it takes more dollars to buy assets. So how do we survive? We buy assets, right? Gold and silver are the best because they're real money. And that's it. The US dollar, you don't want to hold. You don't want to be in the stock market because with raising interest rates, companies' costs go up. They cannot pass it on to the customer unless it's something like gas. But if you're, even if you're Target or Myers, or Walmart, your margins are down. It costs more to ship it. You can't raise your food prices. You can try. Like I'll go to the meat guy because I want to get steaks for 4th of July. And if he's marked them $20, I just simply don't buy it. And I'll go buy for, I'll find the $8 or $9 steak and I'll buy it and I'll eat that one. But I'm not going to get the New York strip he's marked up to 20. You got to bring it down, fella. And that's where people understand. We're the market. If nobody would buy New York strips at $20, they couldn't sell them for $20 because the business of the grocery store is to sell their inventory. That's how they make money. So if they get money from the meat place and it costs 15 and they try to sell it for 20 and nobody buys it, they got to go back to the meat place and say, I can't give you 15. I can't sell it at 20. I can't buy it from you anymore. Now the meat guy who cuts it, the butcher, can't make any money, has to lower his prices. So normally what happens is you lay off people, and you can see that it's funny, Tesla and Facebook are laying off people. Like they know what's going on. Tesla's going to go broke. If you have stock in Tesla, sell it all immediately. Tesla has a bunch of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's going to zero because it isn't anything. And why would you buy Bitcoin now? It's not an asset. See, the point of buying gold and silver makes sense. It's an asset. The point of buying a Mantle or a Brady card makes sense because it's an asset. It's going to go up as the dollar drops. Those values go up. They have to. It's an asset. So because of that, why would I buy Bitcoin? It's not an asset. It's not crypto gold. It's not money. You can't go to the store and I can't buy a car with it or go to dinner with it. I can't go to dinner and say, here, I'm going to pay in Bitcoin. The guy's like, I don't want it. I don't know what the value is of it. Gold, I'll take. Silver, I've already proven that point and showed you that when I went to get barbecue and I paid the guy in silver and he took it. No, yeah, no problem. It's coin. It's money. He gave it back because it was just to see that he would do it, but good friend. And we both understand Austrian economics, which is free market and everything else. So basically that's what's happening. So as I said this story earlier, I'll repeat it. My buddy goes, well, where are you getting $200 an ounce for silver? I think it'll go up, but how are you picking that? I go, I'm just picking it. I honestly think it's 2,000, but I want to be conservative now. I think it will get to 5,000 down the road once everybody starts realizing that the US dollar is going out and that these little interest rates can't keep going because they're crashing the economy. So what good is, I'll raise interest rates even if it goes to 3%. Inflation's 20. Nobody's going to put their money back in the bank. The reason they raise the rates is to bring the money back into the bank, and then they can destroy the money because the problem is there's too much money out there, which makes the value of the money drop. You got 19 trillion freaking dollars out there. You're not bringing 19 trillion back. Nobody's putting their money back in the bank. A, you can't trust the bank. They could freeze the account. They could say you can't get your money out. B, gold and silver are going to go through the roof. And maybe you're going, well, I'll just keep my money in stocks and buy Coca-Cola or Microsoft or something. Okay. You could do that. By the way, Coca-Cola is a very good stock to own in a depression because you'll still buy the $2 for Coke, even though most people are off Coke because of the sugar, which kills you. But it's a good stock to own. Are these small items, Hershey's, Heinz ketchup, all those um, were good. But the problem is now everybody understands high fructose corn syrup kills you, gives you diabetes and heart problems. So you got to find other low costing goods that you can buy. Those will be the only stocks that will survive the high interest rate inflation. But interest rates will never get over 3. It'll wipe out the U.S. economy if he does, because it'll make things costly. It'll bankrupt the stock market and the housing market. Right? Who can afford a house now? Now you raise the interest rate from 3 to 6, which means, well, nobody has 400,000 laying around, so they take a 30-year mortgage. Well, the more the interest, the more it costs you. Well, where are you getting the money from? So all that's crashing, right? The housing market crashed in China. It's coming over here. The you got Russia defaulting on their debt. You've got the ruble backed by gold. You've got all this. The euro's going out. The yen's going out. Now, if I told you, and watch what's happening, the yen is now 136 to the dollar. The yen is crashing. When Japan crashes, the party's over. You won't hear the party. Like they said in a margin call, I know when the music stops. The music stopped. All right. Japan, they want to go broke. In the euro, they want to go broke. I don't understand why countries want to ruin their currency on purpose. I don't get it. The US is doing it too. So everybody wants to ruin their currency on purpose. What's your master plan? That you get us all on digital dollars? Put us on digital dollars. You don't have to ruin the currency to do it. And then what happens when everybody, can't afford anything because you fucked up the whole currency of the whole world? The only one that's going to survive is Russia because the ruble's backed by gold, and China's trying to back it by commodities. And these are called the BRICS nations, and India joined, and Saudi Arabia joined. The petrodollar is no longer U.S. It's now a combination of China and rubles and Russia. So what I read, 55 countries aren't using the U.S. dollar. So you still think the U.S. dollar is the reserve? If you have the reserve, you can print it. If you don't have the reserve, you can't. When they say the U.S. dollar strengthened versus, is stronger, it's against the yen and it's against the yen and the euro. It's not against, it didn't get stronger. It got stronger because they're weaker. If you notice, against the euro, we're down to 103. And then the yen's 136. So yeah, we're stronger, but look against the ruble. We're 150. We are now 53 against the ruble. We are not stronger against the ruble. We're a hell of a lot weaker. I tell my girlfriend in Russia that, by the way, she needs so much, so I'm trying to figure out how to. And then the banks there really screw you. So it's 53, let's say, and they'll give her 44 US. I mean, they're killing her on the conversion rate. Instead of giving her 53, they give her 44. So, but I told her, just watch, in about 5-6 months, it'll be down to 20. And I said, what should happen is, because you're stronger dollar, the prices should start coming down, because now you should need less rubles to buy your milk and bread and all that, where you needed more, like what's happening here. It's the reverse. Our dollar's getting weaker, so gas is $5 and inflation's through the roof, which is just the value of the dollar is very, very weak. That's what is happening here. But in Russia, it's the reverse. Their dollar is getting very, very strong. She says, yeah, but our prices are still high. I says, yeah, but if you want to buy a U.S. good, it would be a lot cheaper for you, or other foreign goods. But I don't know what's allowed in Russia. That's the thing with these stupid sanctions. But China's getting all set for the sanctions. So when they invade Taiwan, what are we going to do? We're not going to fight them. We're going to say sanctions, and they're going to laugh, and they're going to say, fine, you. And when they say sanctions, China's already got 25,000 tons of gold and ain't going to bother them. And they're in bed with Russia, Saudi Arabia for the oil already. So that's what's happening there. So they're going to laugh at sanctions. And our guys are such idiots. It's funny. I was looking at the G7 leaders, and you got Macron, you got Biden, you got the guy in England, you got the Japanese guy, the German. And you're looking, these are the 7 stupidest people I've ever seen that are in charge of anything. What a bunch of morons. So I think it's a plan by idiots. I think this is all planned, but I think the people have no concept how to make it work. And I think that's the biggest problem. So I think it's just stupidity at its brightest. And I don't see we're all going to collapse. So our only way out is gold and silver. That's why gold's going to 50,000 and silver's going to 5,000. Now it's not going there tomorrow, and it's going to take a while, but you want to get into it and not look at the COMEX price because the Fed's going to raise interest rates 0.5% is not a reason. It's all going to go. Now, here's the real key. JP Morgan has gotten out of COMEX. They are selling their positions. They're still going to get burned, but they are out of it as of 6:30, which means they're the ones who are monkeying around with COMEX, keeping it low, are gone. So hopefully we'll start getting more market. All I can say is just go buy gold and silver now. Don't worry about the price or if the price drops. It's not real. It's Alabama or Notre Dame or Ohio State point spread lines. It's not real lines. They're just manipulating it. They don't want people in the U.S. to own gold and silver. They want us to think, oh, look, it's going down. Well, think about it. This was last week's topic. When somebody does something, ask yourself why. You're at poker, you bet 25, the guy calls you. Why? The guy check raises you. Why? Why are they doing it? They're either got a hand or they're bluffing. And you got to know ahead of time, are they bluffers or not? Most of these guys I play with at MGM in Detroit, very few are bluffers. Maybe you get some. But when you're betting, they're not bluffing. That's not the time to bluff when the guy's betting. You tend to bluff when there's no action. Oh, he's checking. I'll bet 20 and they'll probably all go out because nobody has anything. That's why they're checking. So that's the time. But if you're betting 100, I'm not trying to bluff you out. Where are you going? You just bet 100. You got a hand. You're not going out. I can't bluff you. So that's my logic on it. Anyways, that's what you got to keep in mind is ask yourself why. Does it make sense under this inflation, which means the price of the dollar is dropping and all the costs are really an effect of it dropping. So it takes more money to buy gas because all the things are dropping, right? All the value of the currency is dropping, therefore things are more expensive because it just takes more currency. Well, why would gold and silver go down? Doesn't make any sense to anybody. Of course not. It's being manipulated, which means we can buy it dirt cheap because we know you can't hold it down forever. It's like a beach ball and you're holding it underwater. Well, you can't hold it under forever. Eventually it's going to come up and it's going to blow through the water because it floats. You can't hold it down. And that's what they're doing. And they keep buying these fake paper derivatives. But now they realize, well, wait, Russia wants it. China wants gold. India needs it for all the way. It's wedding season. Everybody wants gold jewelry because they want to get married and they got to they have to give gold gifts. They have to. I love India. They have to. Oh, you want to marry me? All right, where's my gold necklace? And then you get a gold necklace. So both parties have to get married, have to buy gold. They have to, or you don't get married. So it's as simple as that. So it's a really, it's kind of good. They start off on the right foot. But that's what's happening. So basically the price is it's being manipulated. It's not free market. It's Alabama instead of lane 3 is lane 7. Alabama, Georgia. Georgia should have been a 7-point favorite, was a 3-point favorite because of the Alabama flavor. And that's what happened. So what did we do? We took Georgia and we got the W. That's what happens. So you've got to understand that that's what's happening and go with that. And that's exactly what's happening. So with that said, the price is not real. The price I quoted my buddy of 200 an ounce, again, you've got to get off looking at the COMEX price. So you're looking at COMEX at $20. Well, how is it going to go to 200, Howard, or 2,000? How's gold going to go to 50,000? Because you're looking at the COMEX price. The $20 is not accurate. The 1,800 in gold is not accurate. These aren't real prices. So therefore, you can't sit there and look at those prices and go, oh, it's $20 and the premium makes it 32. How can it go from 32 to 200 to 2,000? Because that's not the right price. The derivative price of 20 is not correct. The dealer is sitting there just trying to make his profit. So he gets it for 25. He sells it for 35. If you got it for 10, he'd sell it for 20. If he gets it for 50, he sells it, whatever he gets it for, he marks it up 20% and sells it. That's what the dealer's doing. The question is who's the idiot selling it to the dealer at $25 an ounce? Some mint somewhere who has no business background or has a gun to his head by the Russians or the Chinese saying, you got to sell it at this COMEX price. Why would you sell it at I understand it. I'm teaching you. You're telling me the guy in the mine doesn't understand it? He can run a gold mine, but he can't figure out gold's worth way more than 1,800 and I shouldn't sell it. I should sell it to the dealers at 5,000. And that gets back to my lesson on the physical market and this, right? You got to sell it for 50 because it costs you 40. Because if you want to buy it from Canadian Club, where I used to work and I loved it, you got to at least cover the $40 for the case of this is what 750. So this is a 750 milliliter. The case, let's say, is $30 a bottle. You sell it. Market says you can get 50 for it. But if Canadian Club raises their price to 70, and this is back to the meat example, if it costs me 60, I got to sell it for 75. Now, will the market bear it? You're going to lose a lot of customers. They'll go to the cheap whiskey, not the Canadian Club. So now what do I do? It costs me 60. I can't sell it for 75. So I either sell it for 60 and don't make profit or stop buying it from them and then let Canadian Club lower their price because if nobody buys it from them, they don't have a market and they can't either don't make it or got to sell it cheaper, which leads to layoffs and ways of cutting costs. That is what is going on. So as long as my coin guy can get this, like if I go buy silver today and he can get it for 25, he's selling it for 35, or he can get it for 20. But I don't know where this COMEX price is not. That's my point. There's no way the COMEX guy's getting it for 15 to say it's $20. These are strictly paper derivative, amounts. They're not real. So when I say 200 or 2,000 an ounce for silver, because that's the real demand and the real value, the market, supply, demand. So the real market for this is 50. The real market for silver is 200. That's what that's what you got to get into your mind, not the fact that the silver's 21. How is it going to go to 200? The most it's ever been was 50 because we've had the derivative market since 1975 or whatever. So this will be the first time it's on real market, a free market. And a lot of the US stuff is not free market because these people come in and they bribe the officials. Oh, look what China's doing to Biden. They gave him $30 million for the energy and now they're controlling him. So they're saying, do this, do that. And that's what he's doing. Um, I've never seen a guy that stupid, even in like at any job I've ever been in. I've never had to give a speech and use notes like that. Now, do you see me with a note? The only note I used was to get the lines on the baseball. Am I using a note here? Now, I did go into my class and I read you my notes from class on purpose. But I don't need to tell you inflation's the printing of the money supply. I don't need a note to tell you that. I know it, right? So that's the big difference. So that's what you got to understand. The free market price, which is the 50, this is the free market price of this whiskey, and then the same as the free market price of gold and silver is not the COMEX price. And that's what we talked about with Joe Montana. His rookie card PSA 10 is $100,000. That's the free market. That's not COMEX trying to sell it for $2,000. I mean, that's my correlation to gold. It's probably 100,000 an ounce. If the Joe Montana is 100,000 an ounce, you're buying a Joe Montana rookie card PSA 10 for 100,000. Wouldn't you pay 100,000 for an ounce of gold? I mean, why are you valuing Montana at 100 grand? That means you'd be valuing, because once you realize that you need the gold to survive and that's going to be the currency, that's how you're going to live, everybody will be on it. The demand will go through the roof, driving the price up because there's a limited amount, and Russia and China own 35,000 tons of it. There's only so many tons on the earth, which means then everybody else runs out to buy it. There's not going to be that much. That's why I raised my hand going, you got to buy it now before the price goes to 20 grand and you can't find an ounce. Now, eventually it'll hit 50 grand and then people will start selling it going, yeah, I bought it at, 1,500. I'm going to sell it for 50 grand. I could use it. And then it'll become available, but you got to pay 50 grand for it. Then it won't even be in US dollars anymore. It'll be, yeah, I'd like to buy your house. Here's an ounce of gold for your house. Thank you. Here's an ounce of gold for that Mercedes. Thank you very much. And that's all you need is 1 ounce of gold, because everybody will recognize that's money and it will have the value. Good luck. How are you going to give somebody a Bitcoin? I see all these Bitcoin. Now, I don't understand all these exchanges going broke and not paying out. So you got a Bitcoin, you want to sell it, and the exchange says, no, we're out of business. Now, how do you get your money out? Well, gold, I don't have a problem. I have the freaking coin. I can give you the coin. I can give you the Brady card. I can give you the Mantle card, the Montana card. I can give you those, and you have them. Now you got value. I can't give you a Bitcoin. No, I can't even get it out to give it to you. Paper dollars will be worthless. So that's what's coming. You're in the stock market, it's going to crash. Why? Because of interest rates. Because these idiots think, well, the only way to hold inflation is the interest rates. But that's only if you put your money back in the bank. Well, nobody trusts the banks anymore. And the interest rates are so low that I'm not going to I'm going to sell my gold for only $2,000 and put it back in the bank so I can get 1.5%. And I love when they say, well, gold doesn't give you interest. Gold doesn't give me interest. So the interest I get on the US dollar, 1% if I'm lucky, on $1,000, I get $10. But the $1,000, because of inflation, is only worth $800. So how did the interest help me there? But my gold went up in value from 1,000 to 2,000. I don't need an interest. It goes up in value. That's the difference. So, my friends, that's why I say gold and silver will go up, because the dollar's going out. That's what's going to happen. And most of these guys on YouTube, which is getting extremely hard to watch because of all the commercials. Where does everybody go to TikTok now? Should I start doing this on TikTok also, I guess? I don't have TikTok. I know it's a Chinese thing, so I'm kind of leery of it. But I don't know. I do not have commercials turned on this, so I'm hoping you guys don't have to keep getting interrupted. But that's the biggest thing when you're trying to listen, and in the middle they put a commercial in. What the fuck is that? Right in the key point, right? The guy's making the key point of the whole show, and there's commercial. And then once it ends, then I'm reversing it to go back to get into that moment of his key point. So it really sucks. Anyway, that's what's really happening, which I know I repeat because of new people, and I repeat to really give you an update of what's going on, right? It's not the Fed raising interest rates, lowering gold. It's strictly, it's what it is really is the JP Morgan and other banks panicking, selling to get out of the derivative market. So they bought these shorts. They have to sell them to get out. That's why the price is dropping. If you notice, it's the end of the quarter, 6:30. That's why the last few days have been down. They're panicking to get out. They are now out. JP Morgan is not in derivatives. Now that they're out, you're going to watch the price go up, but we need it out of COMEX. We need it in free market. And with India buying and Russia buying and China buying and me and you buying, although I buy coins, I buy a couple ounces here and there. They're buying the James Bond Goldfinger blocks. I looked at something that had said something about tons, like a ton of gold. They buy tons of gold. Like Russia has 13,000 tons. You know how much money that is? It's almost $1 trillion in US dollars now. But that's what's happening. So keep that in mind. It's not, COMEX is not the real price. Like Alabama's football line, Notre Dame's, Michigan's, Ohio State, and the Tom Brady line are not real lines. So just keep that in mind. It's phony, and it's going to start moving. And what's going to happen soon is it'll get off of COMEX. So right now is the best buying opportunity you've ever had. It's a lock. You know how Teaserking is with locks. I'm telling you for a fact, this is not an opinion. It's for sure, and it's what I learned. So it's not even my opinion. It's not like I'm thinking this. This is what I learned. I mean, it's definitely got to go up just because the value, if just nothing else, the value of the dollar dropping. So right now they're holding gas at $5. I filled up yesterday. I was so excited. I drove about 5 miles away to a gas station, and I paid $4.81 a gallon. And I look at the lady next to me, and I go, "We're so excited for $4.81 when it should be like $2.99, right?" It was $2.99 I paid back in like January, February, and now it's $5. And if you find it for $4.81, you have a party. So anyway, that's where that's at. So I think we got it. Last time, let's go through the locks, although I tried to do it a lot because of the games. I know the first two already started. Tampa Bay under 7.5 at the 12 o'clock game, which is already off, lock, under. The Yankees both have the doubleheader, locks. Minnesota under 9, Miami over 10, Philly over 10, Milwaukee over 9, the Niners under 7, Detroit over 9, Oakland over 7, Atlanta, Houston under 8, Texas under 9, Tampa Bay over 9.5 in game 2, Yankees lock in game 2, Boston over 9.5, and the Rams under 8 is a lock at night, and Arizona over 12.5. Those are my picks and my locks. Please, again, if you have any questions. So I got the question about the silver and the silver price and the COMEX, and all I can say is don't worry about it. It's going to go through the roof once we get rid of COMEX and the derivatives, but it's been around for 40 years. But the key is between Russia and holding the reserve currency with China and JP Morgan getting out of the derivative game, now there's nothing to really hold it down. And I think the U.S. is like, with whoever's running it, I think the Chinese, it's so fucked up they don't know what's going on. So I think you have all that going. So anyway, that's what's happening. Good luck. Happy 4th of July. I'll do a show tomorrow morning around this time. Enjoy your holiday and enjoy that 3-day vacation. All right, everybody. Thank you. Again, www.teaserking.com. get my email. You feel free to email me. I will either answer or do a video on it. And off we go. So baseball cards, football cards should zoom because they're real assets. Gold and silver is already so undervalued. That's like getting the Montana car for 10,000. That's 100. I mean, that's what gold and silver is like right now. The houses will crash. If you bought it for 400, figure 200. Stock market's going to crash. So when your financial planner says go into stocks, where are you going to go? Who's going to survive this? Like I said, maybe a Coca-Cola, Hershey's, Heinz, something that sells cheap goods. That's it. But I wouldn't be in the stock market. I'm watching my gold stocks drop. I'm waiting for them to drop another 20 points. Then I'll start buying it because the side door factor with the gold stocks it's based on gold's value off of COMEX. Well, when it gets taken away and gold jumps from 1,900 to 10,000, the inventory jumps, the value of the stock jumps. So those should do real well because when they revalue gold, it's not going to be 2,000, it'll be 10 or 20, and that's what's going to create it. And the reason it's so high is that's per US dollar, and they just printed $9 trillion. So divide the 9 trillion by a few ounces of gold. Remember, the U.S. does not own the 50,000 tons that's out there. Russia and China and India own it. Saudi Arabia owns it. So there's only a few thousand tons left for the U.S. anyway. So maybe they own 2,000 tons, 3,000. So when they revalue it, divided by 9 trillion, that's where I'm getting the big numbers. That's in US dollars. And one last thought. When I'm watching the gold in all the countries. Every country was down yesterday because apparently they all use COMEX, and I have no idea why, except the ruble was up. So why is the ruble up, but every other country down? What would trigger that? And that is how I analyze football. Why did this lose? And then I try to dig into what happened. And usually the better team throws turnovers. That's how they lose. So anyway, happy 4th of July. Go enjoy. www.teaserking.com. The football prices are up and set, but you don't need to buy now. It's only July. I would start buying like middle of August for the season. Again, ask me for deals. I usually give a little bit off for good customers for the season, or if you just want the pros or you just want the college. The weeks are hard to give a deal, a little bit. The locks, very little. I don't charge that much on them and things like that. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you very much for watching. Happy 4th. All right.